Move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,276. Silver at $14.98. And Bitcoin is trading around $5,266. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, pesticide giant Monsanto has taken another major legal blow in the recent verdict by a French appeals court, finding the company guilty of poisoning a farmer who has suffered massive neurological damage after inhaling one of their products. The Homestead Guru reports that global organic food advocates have rallied against Monsanto for years, crying out against the toxic chemicals they sell to farmers to spray on the global food supply. Only now is the seemingly unstoppable corporation facing an upswing of legal ramifications. According to The Guardian, the French farmer named Paul Francois said he fell ill in 2004 after being exposed to Lasso, a weed killer containing a product legal in France until 2007, but had already been banned in 1985 in Canada and in 1992 in Belgium and Britain. The court immediately ordered Monsanto to pay $50,000 in legal fees. The remaining payout is still to be determined. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at myBraveBotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. It took nearly 9 months and several petitions by the Detroit Free Press until Michigan State Police and Detroit Police allowed the body camera and dash camera footage to be released, showing the minutes leading up to and the hours following the tasing murder of Damon Grimes by MSP trooper Mark Bessner. The 16 hours of recording show the horror, outrage, and insensitive comments made by many officers on the scene. One video even recorded the moment of his death. Now Bessner has finally been convicted for his actions. Last year, Bessner was charged with second-degree murder for tasering the teen on the ATV. On Wednesday, a jury convicted him of the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter, despite the horrific nature of the incident. After his conviction, Bessner was taken into custody and is awaiting his sentencing on May 2nd. Fast food chain Carl's Jr. will make history by becoming the first fast food restaurant to offer a CBD-infused item, and possibly the first major chain to actually run a promotion on the infamous pothead holiday, 420. The Mind Unleashed reports that on Saturday, April 20th, Carl's Jr. will celebrate the holiday with its own CBD-infused Rocky Mountain High Cheeseburger Delight. The Cheeseburger Delight is made up of 2 beef patties, pickled jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and CBD-infused Santa Fe sauce. The burger will be ironically priced at $4.20, but will only be available at one select Carl's Jr. location in Denver, Colorado. However, representatives from the company said they hope to expand the special menu item to other locations if it does well. Patty Trevino, Carl Jr.'s Senior Vice President of Brand Marketing, says she is proud her company was the first in the industry to make the bold step. Lawyers for the company advise that Denver, Colorado would be the perfect place to test the new menu item since cannabis has been legal there for some time. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This week, badly shaken researchers reported observing an osprey stalking, killing, and devouring an adult male lion in what is being called a massive food chain shakeup. Confirmation of the 3-pound marine bird consuming the 400-pound feline has biologists scrambling to determine the new predator-prey connections between the planet's billions of organisms.
We seem to be experiencing some sort of cross-species dietary free-for-all.
Scientists say that the killing of the healthy, full-grown lion by a typical osprey specimen has lent credibility to recent reports of a deer seen grazing on a nest of squirrels in Wisconsin, as well as a claim made by a group of Japanese fishermen who say they witnessed 300 million krill devouring a 40-ton humpback whale. In other news, NASA acquires the moon for an upcoming Kennedy Space Center exhibit. A radio DJ invites the whole town to some bullshit, and assuming the many universes theory of quantum mechanics is accurate, the review you've just seen will remain relevant in another reality for all eternity. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Live here tonight, like we are every night, 8:55, 4:53. That's our toll-free number if you would like to join in the conversation. And it's going to be an interesting night, I think, because, we've got release of the... I'm still getting some audio back.
They just haven't faded the music out. There we go.
There they go.
Yep.
Those.
Oh, now you are hearing yourself back.
Yeah, now we're getting a little bit of feedback. We're just having a fun night so far. It's good to get all the wrinkles, get everything covered in the first few seconds of the show.
That way you can just cut off the first 3 seconds and use it as a blooper reel.
You could, or we'll probably actually get everything straightened out in the first couple minutes, which is good.
We have to start doing our mic checks earlier because I noticed I watched the episode from last week and the first thing you hear in the episode is the music and me saying mic check. That's not good.
Well, all you got to do is
that's not how any of this works.
I'd say show up a couple minutes earlier, but sometimes
It's
we
true.
all run late, so that happens. In studio, it's myself, Chris,
I'm Ian.
And Rich Paul.
and I thought we might start off by talking about this Mueller report. Have you heard of this, Rich?
I've heard of this thing. I've heard of nothing else since the last election, and it's completely empty, devoid of substance. There's nothing there to speak of.
What's
as
there
far
to
as
talk
I
about?
can tell.
Exactly.
Well, the thing was, there were things to talk about because we didn't actually get the Mueller report. The Mueller report was completed, and everybody just said, well, there's nothing in it to talk about.
Okay, so have you found something in it?
Well,
is there something there?
the redacted version of the Mueller report has been released, and that was making the rounds today. And I think Glenn Greenwald of The Intercept puts it very well. Headline from The Intercept: Robert Mueller did not merely reject the Trump-Russian conspiracy theories, he obliterated them.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's not that I didn't have like a dog in this fight. I could care less.
Neither does Glenn Greenwald, by the way. I mean, he's always
Right.
seemed to be pretty independent.
He's libertarian, isn't he?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I'd say he's a little lefty, but
I must have been thinking of another Greenwald.
well,
then.
Greenwald was the guy who made the Snowden thing as big as it was. He was one of the key.
Oh, okay.
He and Petrus from the New York Times, and
Maybe I
he
assumed his orientation from too little information.
That's okay. But he's a decent writer, and like I said, I don't always agree with him on everything. But this one, like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight. I could care less. I suspect that Trump has done things that are unconstitutional and unsavory.
Well,
No
I think that's true of any president after his first day.
That's my point. That's my point. And I'd say the same things about George W. Bush. I'd say the same things about Barack Obama. I would say the same things about Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
I would say the same things about Richard Nixon. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, they're all trash to me.
What does matter to me is if you'd listen to Trump's rhetoric, we should have been saying good things about him. He said he was going to protect our gun rights, and then he jacked our bump stocks. He said he was going to support free markets, and then he implemented tariffs and protectionism.
Yes.
He said he was going to shrink government, and his budget is what, 20% larger than Obama's last, 10%, something like that.
Well, in this new era of smaller government, the federal government, I read today, only enacted 488 new laws last year.
Wow, that's
such restraint.
It is. Think about it.
Lazy people.
The two-pronged conspiracy theory that has dominated U.S. political discourse for almost 3 years that one, Trump, his family, his campaign, and others conspired or coordinated with Russia to interfere in the 2016 election, and two, Trump is beholden to Russian President Vladimir Putin, was not merely rejected today by the final report of Special Counsel Robert Mueller, it was obliterated in an undeniable and definitive manner.
They'll deny it anyway. Ain't nothing undeniable in this political context.
The key fact is this. Mueller, contrary to weeks of false media claims, did not merely issue a narrow, cramped, legalistic finding that there was insufficient evidence to indict Trump associates or conspiring with Russia and then proving their guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That would have been devastating enough to those who spent the last 2 years or more misleading people to believe that the conspiracy convictions of Trump's closest aides and family members were inevitable. But his mandate was much broader than that, to state what did or did not happen.
I mean, the political sides are always frothing at the mouth to, try, just in the hopes that their enemy will be investigated and arrested. I mean, how many times have we heard conservatives calling for Hillary's head on a pike?
Yeah, look at all the evidence.
Well, that's not a bad idea. But
it doesn't ever happen. Okay, it's been happening
No, it
forever.
doesn't happen. They never behead
political fantasy.
The aristocrats.
They spend so much time caterwauling about how terrible the other side is and that they ought to be prosecuted, and then the other side gets in charge and then they flip, and it's just the same old thing every 4 to 8 years.
Well, there is one thing that occurs in there. There will be long investigations of alleged wrongdoing, and eventually, and this is every time, some low or mid-level functionary will do some time. You never hear, it's never the vice president, it's never the president, it's never a senior cabinet official.
Well, it could be the Illinois governor. I mean, it has happened to them a few times.
Oh, yeah. At the state level, that's one thing.
We had one president need a pardon. That's the closest we've come to, tarring, feathering, and then beheading one, which, is a more appropriate reaction to the.
Sure. And I will not argue with that point whatsoever. But again, this is a case where the Mueller story has been a story not by people defending the president, not so much that. It has been the left just frothing and when we get the Mueller report, he's an honest man, and then it comes out, well, don't believe Mueller. You can't do that.
He's on the take now.
Evidently, they got to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and if they investigate Mueller and they find nothing, they'll say Russia got to him too.
Exactly.
And they will sacrifice as many investigators as they can get Congress to vote them.
It's interesting because this story, and it continues here, that's precisely what he did, meaning obliterate the story. In addition to concluding evidence was insufficient to charge any American with crimes relating to Russian election interference, also states emphatically in numerous ways that there was no evidence, not merely that there was insufficient evidence to obtain a criminal conviction, that key prongs of the 3-year-old conspiracy theory actually happened. As Mueller himself put it, quote, in some instances, the report points out the absence of evidence or conflicts in the evidence about a particular fact or event. With regards to Facebook ads and Twitter posts from the Russian-based Internet Research Agency, for example, Mueller could not have been more blunt. Quote, the investigation did not identify evidence that any U.S. persons knowingly or intentionally coordinated with the IRA's interference operation, unquote.
The IRA?
It's the Internet
Are they blaming
Research...
the Irish now?
Exactly.
Okay.
I had to do a double take there, too. The Internet Research Agency, which is a Russian-based organization.
Gotcha.
Noting that this exoneration only... note that this exoneration includes not only Trump campaign officials, but all Americans. This it didn't find anything.
Right.
Wow.
Which is almost amazing, and that's the kind of thing I question.
That's very important because they did indict people, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But everybody they indicted was for something that was completely irrelevant to their investigation. They just gave these people enemas and charged them with whatever they found, but none of these allegations had anything to do with actual collusion with Russia, which is what, as late as yesterday, the liberals were telling me online.
Right.
That, well, there were all these indictments, so with that much smoke, there must be some fire. Well, not necessarily.
Well, on tax evasion, on campaign finance.
And tax evasion is like, I mean, that's not vice, that's virtue.
Right. There you go. It's a good one. But that's the whole thing. So, the Mueller story, this was going to be the one that would take down Trump. Even Trump says this. Trump, and this is some of the stuff that was released in the unredacted report, and I think it was the Washington Post. There was a non-searchable version that got released, and the Washington Post quickly made a searchable version, so people have been combing over this thing.
Yeah, all you have to do is retype it.
Right, but a lot of it is commentary of things that were said by the Trump administration when Mueller was appointed, because Trump didn't do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
His words were, quote, "I'm effed," unquote. He said, "There's no way my presidency will survive this investigation."
Well, certainly, I don't know if he thought he was going to get impeached, but, he certainly, they stalled him using this nonsense for 2 years until they could take back Congress and the Senate, largely because of the lies that they'd spread about Russiagate.
Yes.
So, or at least I think that was certainly part of it, because every mainstream media outlet except Fox News, which is kind of set up to be the controlled and not too bright opposition, I think. They're like there to make it look, oh wow, if conservatives are this dumb, I don't want to be a conservative, I think is the overwhelming message from Fox News.
I would think that's at least what they've turned into. 855-450 free. What are your thoughts on Mueller? I always think about Ferris Bueller.
This is going to be. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. If you would like to join us, we've been talking Mueller. It's the Mueller report, and that was my play on Bueller from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's funny, too, because we were just talking about 80s movies last night.
Yeah.
I could talk about 80s movies all day long.
Yeah.
Because I was in my 40s in the 80s, and I'm just kidding.
No, you weren't.
Everybody jokes about how old I am, but that's okay.
Yeah. It's interesting. The thing I remember most about 80s movies is people who were completely unqualified to do things being able to become not only qualified, but more qualified than people who had been doing them for years by being plucky and working together.
Oh, there were some great films there, I think. And,
yeah, there were some great films. Just kids, don't try this at home.
Oh, I know.
A lot of people, I really think one of the reasons our society is so sick is that people have learned how to act out of movies. And like most of the people that one encounters in a movie in real life would be completely insufferable. You would have to kill them.
Oh, God. I would agree with that. 855-450-FREE. We're going to continue with a story. We were reading a story from The Intercept, written by Glenn Greenwald, discussing what this release was. And in Glenn Greenwald's mind, this didn't just sort of put down the controversy about whether Mueller had done a good job of reporting the investigation and a good job of the investigation, but in his mind completely obliterates what the left is trying to say is the real story. And Glenn Greenwald says there is no real story. That's your problem.
The left has lost so much credibility. It's like I find myself wanting to type into Facebook sometimes when I find a piece of dishonesty that's just, you don't have so obvious, and I want to type in, I'm going to vote for Trump next year, and I'm a libertarian. I don't want to vote for Trump. I'm just irritated at being lied to over and over again by every single authority in the country and having half of my neighbors eat it up, maybe more than half in Keene.
And for people on the left, you were really counting, a lot of you were really counting on, this being the death blow. This was going to, get Trump out of office. And
the crazy thing is, I come from the left. I voted for Bill Clinton once.
But what you have to realize is these types of things occur with every administration. And I hope for those of you on the right, I hope you open your eyes up and see what kind of small government, principled Republican Trump has turned into. As Rich was pointing out, this guy takes away gun rights. He enacted another 400 to 500 new laws at the federal level last year. He has opposed every measure of free trade that passes his desk. I mean, he doesn't understand free trade.
Has he restarted the Cuba embargo? Somebody told me
that's in play too.
Not. Yeah, because the thing is, when you embargo a communist country, then the commies all turn around and they say, oh, we're just starving because we've been embargoed for the last 6 months. That's what they say about Venezuela, even though they've been starving for the last 6 years.
Right.
It's just the leftists they don't publish that in the kind of things that leftists read.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It takes the ability to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And And now I really do believe this country is so polarized that people on the left, people on the right have lost that capability. They cannot be self-critical.
Well, I run one of the pages I run is U.S. Exit. Right. And it was originally named 50 Exit. And the idea is that every single state should secede from the nation secede at the same time, and then see what Washington, D.C. all alone can do to get us back.
It'll never happen. You can't get everything to happen at the same time.
I don't think it's very likely. I mean, that's a proposal that I don't expect to happen. It's actually unnecessary, because if 3/4 of the states were united, all they'd have to do is call a constitutional convention and gut the thing and say there will be no federal government, replace the entire text, and
I don't
that's
think we should
enough.
wait for anybody. I think that if New Hampshire has the people of New Hampshire want to secede, they ought to just do it. Don't wait for Vermont. Don't wait for California.
I want to wait for a president who I'm certain won't nuke Manchester. So it has to be smart enough. It has to be somebody smart enough to realize that it's very close to Boston.
Then they're going to be smart enough not to run for president.
Well, could be.
Well, we know what Obama said in 2012 when he got reelected, and the Texas, there was this Texas petition on White House whatever it was, that got over 100,000 signatures asking about Texas seceding from the United States. And Obama had promised that if they got over 100,000 signatures on anything on that site, they would get an answer from his White House. And the answer was this was an issue that was settled with the Civil War.
Well, war does not determine who is right. War just determines who's left.
Winners and losers.
It would be interesting to see
dead people.
It would be interesting to see if Trump said anything differently.
I don't think he would. That's me speculating, of course. I have no idea what's in the man's head. But I can't imagine any modern president supporting an idea of secession.
Yeah, I mean, I expect it to be probably a rightist dictator that we get instead of a leftist dictator eventually. And the reason is because the powers that be have given the gun control issue to the left, which doesn't make any sense.
Right.
You know, it's almost like when they were splitting up the issues between the media outlets. You know, they said, well, we're gonna talk the people who love the police into having the gun rights so they can support the police, and we'll talk to people who hate the police into giving up all their guns so the police can slaughter them at will.
It's great, and it's a good question. I mean, for those of you who are on the left or right, this is a bipartisan question. If tyranny came to the United States more blatantly than it has, would the rise of the new dictator be from the left or right? That's my question to you. 855-450-FREE.
I would agree that if tyranny comes to, or when tyranny comes to America, it will come wrapped in an American flag and carrying a Bible.
I suspect a lot of people would appreciate that.
That was, I think, Sinclair Lewis, but it might have been Upton Sinclair, because I'm always confused those guys.
Getting your Sinclairs confused.
Indeed.
Several of the media's...
Claire is so pretty, you just can't resist sinning with her.
Several of the media's most breathless and hyped, quote, bombshells, unquote, were dismissed completely by Mueller regarding...
We can get into that here in a moment.
Oh, yeah, I do hear. Yeah, it was kind of subtle that time, too. 855-450-FREE. What do you think about the Mueller report? Would you like us to search something in particular for you? This is Free Talk Live.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. You can also hit us up on Discord. You can find out more at discord.lrn.fm. Discord, load a little app on your PC or on your mobile device. Use your high-speed internet connection and a decent microphone, and you are going to sound like you are right in the studio with us, which is always very cool. And in studio right now, it's myself, Chris.
And Ian.
And Rich Paul.
And I wanted to tell you about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is your premier source for everything Bitcoin Cash related. Bitcoin.com can help you choose a Bitcoin Cash wallet, buy Bitcoin Cash, and shows you where you can spend your Bitcoin Cash today. You can also read the latest news or engage with the community on the Bitcoin.cash forums. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. So we've been talking about the Mueller report. Mm-hmm. And basically, we today was released the redacted version. From what I've read, the redactions were relatively minor. It didn't look like there was enough room in there to like hide a smoking gun that got redacted. It had to do with other investigations.
So there weren't whole pages that were redacted, paragraphs?
Not to the best of my knowledge, and I haven't had time today to scour this thing. But fortunately, as I was saying, the Washington Post did put out a searchable version.
Well, I'll tell you what, Trump is a lot smarter than I ever gave him credit for. Well, I remember in just after he was elected, it was just after he was elected, sitting at the table with my father and telling him they're going to have a coup against Trump. They're going to try to throw him out of office. And this Mueller report was the attempted coup. And yeah, it didn't find anything, but in order for it not to find something, I would imagine that Trump had to do a lot of work behind the scenes because, I'm personally surprised they didn't just make it up and put him in prison.
Coup or coup d'etat? Everything's pretty overt anymore, but there was never a group of military men threatening to take down the presidency, as far as I know.
No, I didn't expect a military coup. I expected a congressional coup.
Well, as my understanding would be, a coup d'etat would be sort of this silent coup, a quietly done way of removing someone. A coup, when I think of it, is a military coup.
Okay.
So it may be other...
Well, coup is just short for coup d'etat. There can be a military coup, which is a coup done by military means.
Right.
There can also be a political coup.
A coup d'etat
is a coup if you just walk up to your leader and whack him. That's a coup.
It's a sudden and decisive action in politics, especially one resulting in a change of government illegally or by force.
Okay.
So not necessarily military.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically it's going outside the rules of the government and going back to the rules of reality where you can do things like shoot random people in the face, which, that's against the rules, but once you stop playing with the rules, all options, as Trump is fond of saying, are on the table.
Right.
Yeah, look, this Mueller thing was pretty much just an investigation of Trump regarding Russia, right? Like, they didn't investigate Trump's other business dealings or anything like that.
Well, when they would come across them, and that's what happens with special counsels. Mm-hmm. It starts off here, narrowly focused, but then you find out that, somebody they were investigating also, didn't pay taxes, or
there were
he was
38
violating other laws. Right.
And none of or something like that. But it was for things like the closest thing to being related was one guy was convicted of lying to Congress about the Russiagate, but apparently what he was lying about wasn't very important because obviously they have seen through that lie and yet could find no evidence. That was
well, what were the 38 indictments? I apologize. I have not followed this closely.
I don't know. The truth is, because I've been tuning out the mainstream media for months. I couldn't take this drumbeat of just falsehood after falsehood after falsehood. It was driving me crazy.
Right. And that's all it's been. I mean, that's all I've been hearing forever. And there's only one time I've imagined the American media looking at like this, and that was in 2008 when I was thinking about what it would look like if Ron Paul was actually elected. What would they try to do if they couldn't cheat him? And what I imagined them doing is almost exactly what they did to Trump. Yeah, and it's to be expected again. And I will say that this makes American politics even worse. There's only two sides. You're either the left or you're the right.
It only makes them worse if you're rooting for the gang, though. It moves the country one step closer to collapse, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. But what I'm saying is in other societies that have taken a look at their politics, they have, 20 different parties. It makes it much more likely for them to have to compromise to get anything done.
Exactly.
And now what we have are these, dictates. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's very vital. The two-party system. You can control two parties, okay? The two parties, okay? That's what, 9 board members each for the corporations that run them? Maybe, I don't know. I guess it would be the RNC and the DNC. So say they're 50 people each. You can suborn 50 people if the stakes are the whole world.
Absolutely.
You can suborn 50 people if you have that to offer to them. So you have to have more than two parties, and you have to have real party competition for any kind of democracy to ever work.
I do have a list of those indictments here, according to Rolling Stone, all the Mueller indictments as of at least January, the end of January. So people like this Paul Manafort, I think his name came up before, Rick Gates, indicted on 12 counts for a series of alleged crimes relating to their lobbying for a pro-Russian government in Ukraine, charges including acting as unregistered agents of Ukraine, laundering millions of dollars through offshore accounts, and conspiracy against the United States. Gates later pleaded guilty and testified against Manafort, his former mentor.
What does conspiracy against the United States mean? Is that actually a charge?
I think it's
apparently
Crips versus Bloods.
I mean, it sounds like low-grade treason, but I've never heard of that conspiracy against the United States.
There's a couple of people here who were found guilty or pleaded guilty of lying to the FBI, which of course isn't a real crime, but you will get charged for it. It's not a crime in that there's no victim, but the FBI and federal agencies they've made it a crime that
they can lie to you.
See, now I'm wondering if my 50-state secession page constitutes a conspiracy against the United States, because we'd leave them nothing but the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico, and we'd encourage Puerto Rico to cut loose too.
There we go. We're going to go to the phones where we have Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Sarah.
Yes, I just want to bring up that I'm proud to say that here in Albuquerque, all of our dairies are bovine growth free. So nobody uses bovine growth hormones in the milk here.
Are you saying that there's no demand for fat cows?
No, the milk tastes awful, and I just want to say that Vermont, they're the one that started it, and if one place starts it, the whole state banned bovine growth hormones, and so that we wind up wanting that for our public here. Everybody wants like natural milk.
So you're turning to Vermont for your political ideas.
See, that's unfortunate though, because there are people in the world who want to drink cheap milk, and there are people in the world who want to drink good milk, and a lot of that depends on how much money you have. Okay, so if you require people to buy only organic milk, for example, you're going to price milk out of a lot of budgets. They won't be able to afford milk at all. And this is what Bastiat called what is not seen. You see the people who are buying milk, drinking better milk. What you don't see is the people who don't get any milk at all.
Sarah, thanks for your call. 855-450-FREE. What do you think? Do you have something against fat cows and cows on growth hormones?
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com. Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When you're always on the go, what would you prefer? An office phone system?
Hey, it's Rochelle. Sorry I missed you earlier. Had an errand to run, but I'm back in the office, so give me a call when you get this.
Or one that works on your cell phone? No hardware needed, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Oh, one sec. It's a business call. Hi, this is Rochelle with Way Forward Partners. How can I help?
There's no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
What's in store for your business this week at Staples?
The future of printing is here, and so are the savings.
The reinvented HP OfficeJet Pro printers are now at Staples.
They're smart, mobile, and secure.
So you can easily print, scan, and copy remotely from your mobile device.
And now at Staples, save up to 20% on the all-new HP OfficeJet Pro printers.
Plus, save up to $50 more in-store when you trade in your old printer.
Staples, there's a whole lot in store.
Ends 5/4/19. See store or staples.com/HP OfficeJet Pro to learn more.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've been talking Mueller report and trying to figure out exactly where the smoke was and
where the mirrors were.
And where the mirrors were. And it appears that we had plenty of both, smoke and mirrors, but not much substance. So,
well, some people did go to jail, according to this guy named George Papadopoulos. Went to prison for 12 days for a charge of lying to the FBI about his communications with Kremlin-linked Professor Joseph Mifsud.
But again, when people go to jail over something they did, and it may have involved somebody in Russia, that doesn't mean that the Trump administration was in collusion with Russian agents. I guess that was the allegation. That's what he was supposed to investigate.
And the other thing is, one of the reasons that you don't talk to cops is because they will interpret any misstatement as a lie. He may have innocently gotten a date wrong. When did you travel to Russia? On the 24th. Oh no, it was the 25th to prison with you.
Right.
So you don't want to, that's one of the reasons you never talk to cops.
Right. And they are going to use anything you use. Yes. And what they'll do is they'll use that one little white lie, or maybe it was just a mistake, like you point out. But now, we have you, Rich. You have lied to the FBI. Yeah. So how about fessing up to these other things that maybe you didn't even do? And they'll do that.
And the way police are is once they decide that you've done something that irritates them, okay? Something that's, beyond the stuff that they look the other way at. They put you on the bad guy list, And that means they're going to find anything they can to prosecute you for, even if they would never normally prosecute another person for that.
Right.
You know, they're going to find a way to try to get a pound of flesh out of you.
Right.
It
makes them look good.
Yeah. And, of course, the extreme of that is this guy in Iraq who he arrested a guy for an IED explosion. He was a soldier, arrested a guy over an IED explosion. The army decided the guy didn't do it and said, take him back where you got him. And the guy took him under a bridge and tortured him for a few hours and killed him.
Wow.
And now he's sitting in Leavenworth. And I know about this because there's a governor trying to get him out of Leavenworth. Right. And somebody sent me an email at Coplock.
Interesting. We're going to go to the phones where we got Libertarian Banker calling in. Libertarian Banker, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, guys. Wanted to switch up the subject a little bit and talk about immigration, and just want to tell the audience a story about a guy that I met today who is looking to purchase a home. So as the Libertarian Banker, I help people purchase homes, and I don't care who they are, whether U.S. citizen or not U.S. citizen or whatever, I'm going to help them. So
thank you for your service.
The differences that I really see is, for example, this guy here comes to America 10 years ago, no high school degree, no college degree, and is worked his way up and is now making $75,000 for a salary. And I mean, for an immigrant, that's great. And he's got family back in his native country and everything. And he's saved up over $100,000 in the time that he's been here.
Right.
And here's the key: this guy doesn't want to purchase a $400,000 house. He wants to buy a $150,000 house.
Hold on, how long has he been here?
Okay, 10 years.
Well, he hasn't understood the American ideal of living beyond one's means. Give him a few years, maybe he'll start to get it.
That's not how any of this works.
So all of this is in contrast, exactly like you said, to Americans who are, the typical one I see. You got $100,000 in student loans, $40,000 a year in income, and they want to buy a $300,000 house.
Right,
I mean,
and this guy's got $100,000 in cash that he's saved up over a decade.
In cash.
Yeah,
nice. In cash, and he wants to buy a $150,000 house.
So he only needs a $50,000 loan.
Or $100,000. Maybe he keeps $50,000. I don't know.
Sure.
Whatever.
I mean, not want to put it all in.
The point is that it's a mentality. It is all a mentality. And for people who think that these immigrants coming to the country are just going to take and take and take,
right,
they're wrong.
Well,
the Americans are the ones that take and take and take.
You're right. But to be clear on this stuff, this is by policy. We have
what's by policy?
The idea that we need to live beyond our means. The idea that it should be more attractive to borrow than to save. This is the policy. This is our economic policy.
It's more attractive to borrow than to save whenever interest rates are unnaturally low.
And that's what they are, and that's my point.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying is these are economic policies that change people's behavior. They change businesses' behavior. And Libertarian Banker's on the front lines where he's seeing it. Go ahead.
Exactly, and I will say too that I think of a lot of it extends from the retailization, for lack of a better word, the turning into retail of banks. And now it's not, you can buy anything on a credit card. Whereas if you go to some of these other countries, I mean, to get a loan, man, you pretty much got to put up 8 cows in your firstborn.
I think that's part of it, but I think there's also a part of it which is a lack of education in virtue. I mean, back in the day, they used to read about Horatio Alger and, which I've never actually read him, but it was supposed to be rags to riches stories. And, they would write about people, coming over here from someplace and succeeding in business, and this is how they did it, and this is what happened to them as they were doing it. That doesn't exist anymore. People don't understand the power of compound interest.
Well, I know that, and again, to me, we sit here and people make fun of. Listen to those libertarians. What, end the Fed, right? Ha ha. Well, that's a real thing.
How about end all central banks?
Yeah, end all central banks and quit messing with markets. So, to me, manipulation of financial systems, it's no different than price fixing, and we recognize that that's a disaster, but a lot of people don't. But this idea that we can modify people's behaviors through adjusting interest rates, it's a real thing.
Oh, yeah, and it does modify people's behavior to the detriment of poor people and to the benefit of the 1%. That's absolutely true.
Absolutely, because Bruce Paul, you hit it the nail on the head. When the rich can borrow money at 2% and put it into projects and businesses and get a return of 35%, and then people who are poor have to save in their savings account at a rate of 1%.
Yeah.
So this is the reason for the gap. Of the wealth gap in this country is the artificially low interest rate. That's what happens.
There's that, and then there's that, and the other thing is poor people keep their money in cash in the bank or cash under the mattress. Rich people they don't have money, they have wealth. They have real estate, they have stocks, they have precious metals, the majority. And so when you inflate, the real property increases in dollar value while the dollars decrease versus real property. So the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. That's inflation.
But we can't have those poor people making the same investments we are. That's why we need...
We can if we get rid of the government.
Well, what I'm saying is that's why the government passes lots of laws to qualify investors. So you can't go out and invest in a IPO, the hot new thing.
Right.
You can't invest in that because you're not a qualified investor. The system is rigged against the poor, and I wish people on the left
and it's rigged against the small business guy who has a really hard time getting credit because some of the banks have these ridiculous guidelines that they have to follow in terms of underwriting. So, it's a systemic problem, these small businesses getting hurt in the banking system, too.
Absolutely. Interesting call. Thank you so much for the call, Libertarian Banker. And for those, and I know they're out there, you Democrats, you know who's behind all this, right? All this manipulation of the markets? It's Republicans and Democrats. It's both sides who are answering the needs of the 1%. And you keep trying to put it on the other side. It's not that. It's another group of people, and they're playing you like a fiddle.
Yeah, more and more I believe that they're all working for the same people, because even when the candidate is right, like Obama on war, he's going to end all the wars. Well, when he got in office, of course, no, he didn't.
Yep, didn't close Guantanamo either.
Nope.
Imagine that. 855-450 free. What do you think? We're going to maybe we'll talk a little bit about our banking system and its evils, and how it destroys lives, especially the youngest and the neediest among us. This is
tiny,
Free Talk
tiny
Live.
Babies.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with two beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please, don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. Call right now before it's too late. 800-213-9264.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,276. Silver at $14.98. And Bitcoin is trading around $5,266. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, pesticide giant Monsanto has taken another major legal blow in the recent verdict by a French appeals court, finding the company guilty of poisoning a farmer who has suffered massive neurological damage after inhaling one of their products. The Homestead Guru reports that global organic food advocates have rallied against Monsanto for years, crying out against the toxic chemicals they sell to farmers to spray on the global food supply. Only now is the seemingly unstoppable corporation facing an upswing of legal ramifications. According to The Guardian, the French farmer named Paul Francois said he fell ill in 2004 after being exposed to Lasso, a weed killer containing a product legal in France until 2007, but had already been banned in 1985 in Canada and in 1992 in Belgium and Britain. The court immediately ordered Monsanto to pay $50,000 in legal fees. The remaining payout is still to be determined. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices, with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. It took nearly 9 months and several petitions by the Detroit Free Press until Michigan State Police and Detroit Police allowed the body camera and dash camera footage to be released, showing the minutes leading up to and the hours following the tasing murder of Damon Grimes by MSP trooper Mark Bessner. The 16 hours of recording show the horror, outrage, and insensitive comments made by many officers on the scene. One video even recorded the moment of his death. Now Bessner has finally been convicted for his actions. Last year, Bessner was charged with second-degree murder for tasering the teen on the ATV. On Wednesday, a jury convicted him of the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter, despite the horrific nature of the incident. After his conviction, Bessner was taken into custody and is awaiting his sentencing on May 2nd. Fast food chain Carl's Jr. will make history by becoming the first fast food restaurant to offer a CBD-infused item, and possibly the first major chain to actually run a promotion on the infamous pothead holiday, 420. The Mind Unleashed reports that on Saturday, April 20th, Carl's Jr. will celebrate the holiday with its own CBD-infused Rocky Mountain High Cheeseburger Delight. The Cheeseburger Delight is made up of 2 beef patties, pickled jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and CBD-infused Santa Fe sauce. The burger will be ironically priced at $4.20, but will only be available at one select Carl's Jr. location in Denver, Colorado. However, representatives from the company said they hope to expand the special menu item to other locations if it does well. Patty Trevino, Carl Jr.'s Senior Vice President of Brand Marketing, says she is proud her company was the first in the industry to make the bold step. Lawyers for the company advise that Denver, Colorado would be the perfect place to test the new menu item since cannabis has been legal there for some time. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Here is the Onion Week in Review Transportation Edition. In Albany, a Greyhound bus crash claimed 30 miserable lives Tuesday, finally putting over 24 deadbeat fathers, penniless drug addicts, and hapless bastards out of their misery. Emergency crews at the scene of the merciful accident described the sea of fast food bags, candy bar wrappers, and losing lottery tickets surrounding the crash site as utterly tragic, adding that the scorched corpses inside the bus were, quote, only slightly more lifeless than before the deadly accident.
Evidence suggests that most of the victims suffered during the crash, and for many years before they even boarded the bus. All I can say is, thank God no one made it.
Al-Qaeda is refusing to carry out any further terrorist attacks until the U.S. mass transportation infrastructure is drastically improved, calling the country's roads and bridges a, quote, travesty, unbecoming of a developed first world nation.
We want to turn your bridges into rubble. But if we took credit for making them collapse, no one would ever believe us.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, joining you for hour number 2 of our show tonight. 855-450-FREE. If you would like to join us, you can hit us up. That's our toll-free number. You can also hit us up on Discord. You can find out more at discord.lrn.fm. Load up the Discord software. Use your high-speed internet connection and your microphone, and you will sound like you're right here in the studio with us. In studio tonight, it's myself, Chris.
It's Ian.
And Rich Paul.
And we were talking about the Mueller report, and you know, I tried to bait some Republicans to come out and defend our president. I tried to bait some liberals to say how the whole thing is just a farce and the Russians must have gotten to Mueller too, but nothing.
You didn't have any success, and I thought you were a masturbator.
I thank you, Rich. I've been accused of that by many people.
Yeah, you're always baiting people.
Baiting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Okay. There we go. But somebody else who is up to no good is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. You know, he's that guy from Kentucky. Not Rand Paul, the other guy. The guy that
there's 2 of them?
Who has been in Senate for a gazillion years. But he wants to do something. He wants to help the children. And there's no better way in Mitch McConnell's mind than to help kids not start smoking by raising the age to buy tobacco to 21. So that'll work. It'll work. I guarantee you it will work as well as the prohibition on alcohol, which we had in, 1914? Is that when that went in?
1917?
Yeah, somewhere around there. But what was interesting was that to do that, they had to actually modify the Constitution because they realized that the federal government was not an enumerated power to say that a substance was illegal. You know, if you were gonna grasp that kind of power, then you would have to change the Constitution.
We were all wrong. It was 1920 to 1933, alcohol prohibition in the U.S.
I don't think I commented.
Okay.
I think I made a wrong guess. It was
1920 to 1932.
33.
33. Okay.
So what Mitch McConnell wants to do is raise the federal minimum for buying tobacco from 18 years of age to 21. That way it will be the same age that, you're allowed to join the military and the same age that you're no, I'm wrong,
Well,
aren't
that's
I?
the same
No,
way
you
they
can-
stop 14-year-olds from smoking crack. They make it illegal.
That worked too,
That's why
right?
there aren't any teenagers smoking crack.
Is that what it is?
It's against the law.
This is going to work no better than the prohibition on drugs, the prohibition on alcohol, or the prohibition on name whatever you want to prohibit,
Well,
because
just to be clear,
prohibition doesn't work.
This guy isn't leading any kind of charge here. There have already been multiple states in the United States who have raised the smoking
Keene,
age.
New Hampshire has done it, much to our horror and
Right.
disgust.
So, yeah, not just states, but also some municipalities as well. But I think Massachusetts actually, what they first did was they allowed the municipalities to raise the age to 21. Then ultimately that led to the state raising the age to 21. I think Hawaii's another one. And I've actually been sitting on show prep about Maryland, where they passed a bill just within the last couple of weeks that will raise the legal age to purchase tobacco products to 21, with an exception for military members.
Okay, so let me put on my 10th Amendment hat here and my horrible idea, and I don't recommend this, and I'm not advocating it, but under our system of government, states absolutely, and states and sub-districts of states can absolutely raise the age of buying tobacco to 21 if they want. What we're talking about depends on your state constitution, but what I am
If you
saying,
ignore the whole right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness.
absolutely.
thing.
That's what I'm doing, Ian.
Under
I'm-
the government in the state in which we live, government can do anything it wants to.
Exactly, in the state. What under our system of government is that those are enumerated. Those are powers that are not enumerated and granted to the federal government. The government does not have the power anywhere to raise the age to buy tobacco from 18 to 21.
Are you talking
Full
about
stop, end of story.
the government described in the Constitution?
Yes.
That's not our government.
I know that, Rich. I know that.
That's what I actually said that to Phil Christiana.
The FBI agent?
Yeah, Phil, he arrests, as he was arresting me, we worked for the FBI, and I said, well, you don't work for the federal government. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, the federal government is described in the Constitution, and the organization you work for looks nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's just not the same organization that's described.
But to my point, there is nothing in the U.S. Constitution that does grant the federal government the ability to do this. And that's something that it's ignored on this subject. It's ignored on every possible subject under the sun. Let's find out more. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell will introduce legislation to raise the federal minimum age to buy tobacco to 21 from 18. He announced Thursday. McConnell will introduce the legislation called the McConnell Bill. That's original. He introduced it originally in May. He said he will cover all tobacco products, including e-cigarettes, which I am enjoying right now. McConnell's backing marks the strongest support yet in Congress for what's been dubbed, quote, T21, unquote.
So it will include e-cigarettes?
Yes, it will. For some time, quote, for some time I've been hearing from the parents who are seeing an unprecedented spike in vaping among their teenage children, unquote.
Well, see, vaping is it's all about children, right? That's why they have the delicious flavors. They want to attract children.
Absolutely.
I like the flavor. It's one of the reasons
you're just a big child, though.
Well, that may be true,
Only
but
adults
we're all big
flavorless
children from the nanny state's point
Only
of
adults
view.
enjoy flavorless crap.
Exactly, right. But I right now am. This is a sweet tobaccino. So
like
if you happen
cappuccino.
if you like cappuccino and you like a little tobacco flavor, I'm enjoying it. Fortunately, I guess I'm not on Mitch McConnell's site yet until there's a nationwide ban, which will be when the cigarette companies have completely put out of business all the vape companies that they don't already own.
See, this is
man, if they actually banned tobacco, I think that might be the easiest way to cause a revolution.
But they won't, because they get so much of their money from the tobacco industry.
Yeah. Well, if they banned it, I don't think it would cause a revolution. It just means that prices would go up and people would buy them on the black market. That's all.
Yeah, like everything else. But face it, I mean, we're a country that started out with a 2% tax on tea.
They'd buy the hell out of it, right? If they knew the ban was coming, they'd stock up big time on what was available.
Yep.
Of course, then it would still be illegal for them to possess it, but, what are the odds? They're going to get popped for that. And that'll last most people some amount of time after a ban like that goes into effect. Meanwhile, all the entrepreneurs in the black market will be busily acquiring questionable products from China or wherever it is they need to acquire it.
Absolutely. And that is...
And hiding their tobacco plants amongst their legal marijuana plants.
Quote.
What a weird world it is.
McConnell continues, quote, in addition, we know people who started smoking at a young age and who struggled to quit as adults. Unfortunately, it's reached epidemic levels around the country, unquote. Epidemic levels.
Everything's an epidemic. They're wearing that word out. It used to really mean something. There's an epidemic going on. Well, now, if somebody came to me and said, hey, Rich, there's an epidemic going on, I'd be like, pick one. There's a dozen epidemics going on.
Well, they also love crisis as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But again, is this an epidemic level? Has the use of tobacco products in general been on the rise or been on the decline?
Decline.
I think. Yeah,
it depends on the length of your timeline.
I think since we go back to the days of the Mad Men TV series, in the 50s and 60s and early 70s,
huge decline.
Back when you had Lucille Ball advertising cigarettes on her show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there was no cigarette epidemic going on then.
So what do you think? Is it an epidemic, or is the youth of America being poisoned by tobacco? Give us a call, 855-450-FREE, and let us know what you think. I don't know.
Does anybody actually support this, raising the age?
That's a good question. Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
If you're the parent of a man-child, you know how frustrating it can sometimes be. The piercing sound of his video games waking you up at 2 in the morning. His insatiable hunger and inability to cook anything for himself. The messes he makes. The stress can be overwhelming.
Something will set them off, such as their man-child will tell them that they don't know how to tie a tie even though they're almost 30. They'll start shaking them and yelling and saying, "What the hell is wrong with you? Why don't you get a real job instead of working part-time at a board game store?"
The results of shaken man-child syndrome are devastating. Trauma caused by the brain colliding with the inside of the man-child's skull can lead to cognitive disabilities, making it even more unlikely he'll finally marry the girl he's been having a long-distance online relationship with for 6 years. Or it can even lead to death.
He's not spilling cereal all over the couch or leaving his beard clippings in the bathroom sink intentionally. He truly does not know what he's doing.
For the Lab Report, I'm Stuart Adams.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's the phone number you would call if you want to be on the radio and talk to us about whatever you like. We bring up things. We bring stories into the show, so we have something to get the ball rolling with. But that does not mean that that's what we're talking about. And if you want to change the subject, please feel free. We want to know what is interesting to you. And right now, what I find pretty interesting are cryptocurrencies. These things are, again, taking off, hopefully not quite as insanely as they did in 2017, but a great tool to put in your arsenal is the Edge Wallet. The Edge Wallet is available in iOS or in Android. You can find it in the respective Play stores. You can buy, sell, trade, securely hold on to your cryptocurrencies, and it is completely under your control. You own your money. Support for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, many, many more are available within the Edge Wallet. I got a veteran team over there that have been building since 2014, and they are here to secure your freedom. To find out more, you can go to edge.app. That's edge.app.
I use it.
Do you? I do too.
All the time.
I'm getting back into it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I use Koinomi.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah,
and that's my backup.
Yeah, I will probably install Edge because I would like to have multiple wallets on my phone for multiple purposes, and I haven't found a wallet yet that will let you have multiple multiple root keys installed.
I think both Edge and Koinomi will let you do that.
Yeah,
really?
So you should be able to create a second Bitcoin wallet within Koinomi. That's what you're referring to.
I know you can definitely do it with Edge, and I'm pretty sure you can do it with Koinomi as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's new. In Koinomi, the only way to do it was, I mean, you could put in your 26 words or whatever it is and replace the wallet that was in there, but then you had to put in the 26 words again to switch back.
You know what? It may only be Edge that does it then.
Yeah,
because I know you can make more than one
Edge.
wallet for, like, let's say Bitcoin. You can have more than one Bitcoin wallet in Koinomi, but I think you're right. They're coming from the same seed in that case. Whereas Edge is using a username and password system instead of they've got some other way of cryptographically securing the wallet information. So check into that.
Well, I mean, it would be like running multiple instances of the wallet. So you would have to unlock each wallet separately if you keep them password protected. But
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, but you know, that's one of these things. You can cryptocurrencies anymore. You know, Bitcoin kind of started them, but there's so many of them out there now they are the type of thing that you can just load a little app on your phone and you have all your cryptocurrencies right there, and you can spend them as you need them or do things like that.
I just introduced a young lady to the Edge wallet yesterday. We had some folks, local window installers, like automotive windshield installers, came over here, and local folks really liked the activism that we had done. They're Granite Staters,
right?
People who are natives who actually understand what freedom is and are really into it. So she was just kind of hanging around. I think she was just there to hang with the guys. I don't think she was really working with them. There was like two guys that were doing the job, and then she was there.
Supervising.
Yeah,
right.
And so I said, hey, you got some Bitcoin yet? And she said, no, but a friend of mine was telling me all about it. And so she knows somebody who got into some cryptos a little while back,
right,
and has been pretty happy just for holding on to it. And so I said, well, download Edge Wallet, and took her through the process. And of course, it's super easy. For somebody that's used to username and password, Edge is the best wallet because there's no writing down 12, 20, 24 words or whatever. It's just write down your username and password. Don't lose it.
Right.
And Edge warns you when you first install the wallet. There's like 3 checkboxes. Like, you sure you know that you can't lose this, right? You definitely can't lose this. So take it seriously and store that username and password somewhere where you can have access to it in case you forget what it is.
And then where is your private key stored?
That's something you're going to have to... I know I've had Paul Puey from Edge on the show, and we've talked about that. They have some kind of way of cryptographically securing your keys through a username and password.
Right.
I don't know how it works, but when he explained it to me, it made sense. I just don't remember what it was.
Well, and
they don't know your
I can
password.
think of one way to do it, so I won't say it's impossible.
Whatever it is, they don't know your password. You cannot contact them. They cannot reset your password. So it's just like any other wallet.
Which is, that's an important limitation to note, because they shouldn't be able to reset your password, or your data is not safe from them.
Exactly.
Right. And I will say this, I can hear people out there going, what do you mean? My Bitcoin is just stored with a username and password? Well, no, it's cryptographically. Those just happen to be part of the key pair using your username and password, which makes sense. But, when I talk about what cryptocurrency I keep on my phone, I don't keep
your
my
life
savings. I keep enough. I keep about the same amount of money on my phone as I keep cash in that leather wallet. You know what I mean?
Well, since we're talking
I have a couple $100 in my Bitcoin wallet, and I'm not going to keep more than that in my phone wallet. I'll keep that in a separate wallet, maybe on my PC, maybe on a Linux box that I don't use for web surfing.
Well, there's a financial planner out there who says that cryptocurrency is going to collapse. He is not a believer in cryptocurrency. If you want, I can share some of his ideas.
Yeah, well,
sure.
Share away, please.
Stories from CNBC.com. It was published relatively recently, a little earlier in April. And, of course, we've seen the huge numbers. We've seen the big jump. Bitcoin, of course, hit as high as $20,000 back in late 2017. But according to Peter Malik, certified financial planner and president of wealth management firm Creative Planning, he says, quote, what we're going to see most likely is we're going to see cryptocurrencies collapse. Unquote. There are so many types of virtual currencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and of course Bitcoin, although some argue Ripple's not a real cryptocurrency, that, quote, there's no way that even a fraction of them can survive, says Malik, who is also the author of The 5 Mistakes Every Investor Makes and How to Avoid Them. He says, quote, it is possible that maybe one or two will work, is it possible that maybe one or two will work out in the future? Sure it is. He says, but in the meantime, if you buy cryptocurrency, quote, you get no income. It's not a real investment. It's speculation.
Well, that's more or less true that it's not like if you're just buying gold, you could say the same thing. Gold is not a productive investment. Gold isn't going to go make you more gold. Right. Gold's going to stay the same amount of gold that it was. Well, the same with Bitcoin. So if you're holding it in hopes of an increase in price, then that is by definition speculation. Now, speculation isn't bad.
Right.
Speculation may well be backed up by fact.
But I think what we're going to see, and there are a lot of people of this mindset that believe that as time goes on, that is going to fall away. That currencies, should Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies truly become money throughout history has not been prone to wild swings. You don't expect to get rich off of what you use to transact with. And if people are lowering their expectations of gains, then it's likely that it's going to become more like traditional money. You're not going to make a lot off dollar bills.
Because the real point of cryptocurrency should be this is a currency that you can use to send money that doesn't lose value. It's not supposed to be a money-making thing. It's supposed to be a not losing it all to inflation.
He's got more.
Yep. Ian's got some more also on this story. We'll talk about that and to your calls. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 31st to June 3rd for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into ancient aliens, human origins, crop circles, and UFO sightings. More than 100 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts like Giorgio Tsoukalos, David Wilcock, Linda Moulton Howe, Eric Von Daniken, Doc Wallach, and so many more. Get your tickets today at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's how you get in touch with us. Or you can hit us up on Discord, discord.lrn.fm. You'll sound like you are in the studio with us. And if you want to watch us, I mean, you can do that too. You can either watch us on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm or at, is it D-Link?
D-Live.
D-Live.lrn.fm. That's a really cool system, and D-Live, it's sort of crypto-backed, which is kind of cool, and it made lots of headlines because PewDiePie, who was the number one followed person on YouTube, I've never even watched him, so I couldn't even tell you what he does other than plays video games and people watch him. I guess that's the gist of it.
Pretty much what he does, from what I understand.
So he gets 94 million people who log in and follow his stuff.
Yeah, Rich and I actually did a PewDiePie commentary track on D-Live.
Oh, sweet.
On Sunday when he did his first inaugural, or if you will, broadcast there. And you and I had never seen him before, so that was kind of a new thing.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing. There's a great React track where he's watching people playing video games.
Right.
And Victor is sitting there paying attention to something else. And all of a sudden, somebody in one of the games fires a machine gun. And he hears it over and it's the great React track.
Nice.
Somebody clipped it, by the way. It's on our Twitch channel.
Excellent. We're going to go there. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Tom calling in from New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Well, it's like politicians are trying to raise the minimum age for buying cigarettes. And
That's
I
right.
vividly remember the day back on 24 May 1979 when I was the victim of a hate crime where Governor Hugh Gallen signed a bill raising the New Hampshire drinking age to 20 when I was 19, and I was suddenly no longer old enough.
Oh, jeez.
And you know, all the usual garbage for excuses. One thing that never ceases to amaze me is how politicians can vomit forth one absurd excuse after another, and they actually think that all they have to do is vomit forth their excuses and ignore the obvious flaws in them. And
Seems
that
to be
makes
working for
the
them.
victims,
right?
And that makes the victims okay with this trampling of a right of inestimable value to them and formidable to tyrants only.
Yeah.
The other part about what's going on, by the way, a lot of them are figuring that they enjoy this being proud of being able to protect somebody in spite of all the intense hostility. They can be very blind to the intense hostility that they incite. Imagine how much hostility they would incite, for example, if they were to impose Congress were to pass a law saying that the drinking age shall be 21 and the age for buying cigarettes shall be 21 in Canada, and the Army will enforce it. Well, how is it any better when the state legislature passes a law saying that the drinking age is 21 everywhere in
There's
the
no
state,
difference.
and the police will enforce it? It's no different. And
But I don't think anybody would get up in the streets over the former.
Now, here's the issue: is that they would rather commit a hate crime against innocent people. By the way, check this out for the excuse: whether it's drinking or smoking during pregnancy, of course, it harms the baby. And look at fetal alcohol syndrome and stuff. So let's impose this law on men under 21, but not on pregnant women who are over 21 because their rights matter. And the other issue is that back in those days, I vividly remember having a hard time finding a job because I didn't have experience, because I didn't have the job. And what about these nice overpaid union jobs working for public utilities or government agencies? Oh, we have to save those jobs for men who dropped napalm on children in Vietnam. Gee, Tom, why don't
I'm lost.
you sign
What
up
does union jobs have to do with...
I think we've hit
gonna
the
tie
third
that-
topic of the call.
I'm going to tie that in. See, nowadays, what's going on is they have this law that they take away the advantage of being a non-smoker. RSA 275, Section 37A no employer shall require as a condition of employment that any employee or applicant for employment abstain from using tobacco products outside the course of employment as long as the employee complies with any workplace policy.
Okay, so
that's insane.
So what you're saying is employers in New Hampshire cannot discriminate against somebody as far as if they smoke cigarettes, they still must hire them, basically?
They're still required to hire them, which is a disadvantage. It takes away the advantage of being a non-smoker. Why don't they say, gee, why don't you quit smoking if you want to have a job? That would
I would agree with you there that the state should not be involved in making those decisions. A business should be able to hire whoever they want.
I wouldn't say, why don't you quit smoking if you want to have a job? I would say, why don't you work in a workplace where they let you smoke? And those should be legal as well. And then everybody is free. If you're a smoker, you work where they smoke. If you're a non-smoker, you work where they don't smoke. And if you want to go into your discomfort zone, then maybe you ask for more money to do that.
Mm-hmm. Right, Tom. Thanks for the call. It's an interesting idea because I worked in jobs where I was allowed to smoke. Of course, most of those jobs were for the federal government. But if people want to do that, then let them. Nobody is forcing anyone to work anywhere. That's not one of those things that we have done yet in this country, is told people what jobs they do, or if you're in the military. Mm-hmm. So if you work for Uncle Sam, all bets are off, and you should have known that going in. But, in a free market, I think there would be a great market for employees if they said, you know what, kids, you want to vape while you're at work? We allow that. I bet there are a lot of jobs that they would get qualified applicants for where they have a hard time filling positions now.
Whereas other people would say, I'm going to take $1 more and work someplace I can't vape, even though I do. It's all good. There's all kinds of flexibility in a free market. I hate these union people who say, well, don't you appreciate the 40-hour work week? Well, I don't appreciate being told how many hours I should work a week. Right. I don't care how many hours you want to work a week, and I don't care how many hours you want me to work a week. I want to work the number of hours that I want to work a week.
It's none of your business.
Keep your laws off my body.
Right, and what law of nature defines 40 hours as the perfect number of hours? Here's a spoiler. There is none. That was a made-up number. It just happened to fit, and that's what they ran with. So suddenly, this has the force of law behind it. You can't, if you work more than this, then they have to pay you time and a half. And if you work less than so many hours, then you're not really an employee. All these things are benefiting somebody, and it's not benefiting you.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
That's the deal.
And we all know who it benefits. George Carlin called it the club. It's a great big club, and we ain't in it.
Oh gosh, but it is sad, and it's insane that again, Republicans. I want to hear from you, small government Republicans. These guys who think that Washington has gone too far. I want you to explain to me what is possibly small government about Mitch McConnell, the Republican Senate Majority Leader, introducing legislation that sounds like it came right out of San Francisco to raise the federal minimum age to buy tobacco to 21 from 18. What is there possibly? How can you possibly spin that as saying we're the party of freedom and liberty and
I'll spin it for you. I'll spin it for you.
Or it's certainly the 10th Amendment,
right?
Which they once claimed some allegiance to.
Ignoring the 10th Amendment, you could spin it as this. Well, look, it's not going to cost anything extra. I mean, maybe printing a few signs out, changing the number to 18 to 21, but the enforcement's going to be the same. We don't need to hire any new cops or anything like that. It's just a changing in a number. No big deal.
Right. 855-450 free. What do you think? Is McConnell off his rocker? Should only 21-year-olds now be allowed to buy tobacco? It's insane. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, Let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
This is novelist Tom Robbins. When my mother was diagnosed with glaucoma, her conservative Virginia physician told her there was only one treatment that might ease her pain and save her eyesight. That treatment was medical marijuana, which he could not prescribe. I offered to get her some and teach her how to use it effectively, but my father objected because marijuana was against the law. So my mother, who loved to read and walk in nature, was condemned to grow cruelly, unnecessarily blind. Tragedies like this happen all the time, but they don't have to keep happening. To learn more about medical marijuana, call the Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or visit them on the web at mpp.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number, 855-450-3733. And I wanted to tell you about Freedom Fest. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. Freedom Fest theme this year is the Wild West, liberty and opportunity, or lawlessness and violence. Penn Jillette, Candace Owens, John Mackey of Whole Foods, Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington of Shark Tank also, Steve Moore, Grover Norquist, libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. Go to freedomfest/FTL, freedomfest.com/FTL, and get your tickets now. That's freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL for a discount. Plus, at freedomfest.com/FTL, you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Judge Napolitano, Alan Dershowitz, Charlie Kirk, Heather McDonald, and John Mackey, all for free. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL. That's freedomfest.com/FTL. And we are going to go to the Discord where we've got, who do we have? Christian Anarch has changed rooms on me. Hold on. We're coming for you. Hold on. See, it's always interesting when we try to do these things live, and sometimes they work. And
you don't actually have to hit the disconnect button just for future reference. You can just click the other room.
Well, there we go. Yep. Christian Anarch. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I hear you. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button.
Okay, so I can blame this all on you, not on me.
Yep, it's all my fault. And I wanted to say that I have also, since the cryptocurrency, has been using the Edge wallet. I like it very much.
Nice.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to talk about, give another example of one of the many, of why the news media and the government cannot be trusted. They lie. And then when they're done lying, they lie some more.
What'd they do now?
Well, I just read this story about how the federal government has busted 60 doctors and healthcare professionals because of the opioid, overprescribing opioids. And they made a big bunch of big to-do about opioid epidemic in this country, and I believe we do have an opioid epidemic, but they're trying to make it sound like it's all because of the doctors. Now, we have a medical clinic. My wife is the doctor, and I'm the administrator. But if you were to try and find a doctor to prescribe you any kind of painkillers,
right,
you're going to have one heck of a time, because primary care, internal medicine, they are under such a microscope that there's no way they can prescribe more than a few pills of painkillers. That's it. And you better have some pretty serious pain in order to get any kind of pain medication, because the government watches every doctor so close that every doctor I've ever talked to is scared to death of losing their license.
When you say the government, you mean the DEA, right? Those people.
The DEA.
And you're referring to the bust. This was a DEA bust of. I know it was part of it was in Tennessee, but it was like covered a dozen states or something like that.
Right. Now this and this is how things are so blown out of proportion. They say there's 60 people indicted, and this is nationwide, and they say doctors, healthcare professionals, and pharmacists. I'll bet you there isn't 3 doctors on that list of 60, and there probably isn't 3 pharmacists, because the pharmacists are also so tightly controlled. And you just can't write a big prescription. If we were to write a big prescription for pain meds for somebody, the pharmacist would deny filling it. They won't fill it. So
they're afraid.
Yeah, everybody in the healthcare industry is scared to death of the DEA, and it's actually causing patients to suffer, because a lot of patients have serious pain and they can't get the pain medicines they need. That's why these pain clinics are jumping up all over the place. And then you have to pay extra money to go to the pain clinic. And, it's all a big scam. And I know there's opioids out there, but they're not coming from doctors.
Well, that's one of the reasons that people pick up heroin also, is they just find it is easier to score heroin on the street than it is to wade through the medical system and get opiates.
And for your allegation, so I popped up a story out of Tennessee. It said opioid crackdown, what Tennessee doctors were charged. They've got a list. They're saying that 32 doctors just in Tennessee were charged. So
now
prescribing
they
these
can charge
things?
somebody
For
just
prescribing.
writing a couple extra pills.
So you're saying
And
that these charges probably may not be real charges, may not be what they're saying.
They sound like real charges. They're
the charges
they're going
real.
they're going to blow it out of proportion, because no doctor can write you a pill for, say, 60 pain pills. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You can write 5 days. You can write, 7 days. If you write any kind of large numbers, you won't get away with it very long, one or two times, and then they're going to be busting your door down.
So you work in this field. You're right there on the lines. Okay, so what about the alleged pill mills? You just need the right doctor and he'll write them to you all day long. Is that a real thing, or is that no longer a real thing?
I don't think it's a real thing. I don't know how you could ever get them filled, because the pharmacies are not going to fill them. If there is a lot of opioids out there, and I believe there are, they're probably coming from places like warehouses and factories where they're manufactured. They're probably leaking out the back doors. They're definitely not coming from doctors.
Interesting.
Wow. And the amazing thing is, all these people in pain, are forced to go score heroin in the street, and then they're dying of fentanyl overdoses, because when you force people into the black market, you force them out of quality control. You can't have quality control if you can't trace your supply chain.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are some people that have crippling pain, like back pain, where they can't even get around, but they can't get their pain medications because the doctors can't write more than a few pills at a time. And this is causing a lot of suffering in our country.
So what we make it sound like there's no possibility. It's we either have to go full blown, Vicodin is the greatest medicine ever, and we should prescribe it to children, or nobody can have any pain medication at all. It's because regulation has supplanted common sense. Do you know what I mean?
It definitely has, and it's tied the hands of the healthcare professionals to where they can't care for the patients the way they should.
Yeah. Gene, thank you so much for the call.
Yeah.
He brings up some good points, and there's a guy, like he said, he and his wife are both involved. They're in the medical industry.
And when you think about it, there probably are people going to doctors all the time who don't really need painkillers, but they're going there and lying to the doctors and saying that they do need painkillers in order to get around the drug laws, or I know that used to happen.
Still does.
But consider the waste of that doctor's time. If they could just, without the war on drugs, they could just walk into the pharmacy, buy it, take 5 minutes, not waste any more time, not drive up the demand for doctors who, it victimizes everybody, whether they get the pills or not.
Well, why would doctors, Rich, doctors make tons of money. Why would they even bother with these things? Because they've got all these layers and layers of bureaucracy resting on their shoulders. They can't go to the bathroom without notifying the DEA that they're going to do that.
Better log that.
Yeah, and so why wouldn't they have to be looking for other money? It's insane that this drug war has destroyed care. That's what bothers me the most. And, it's destroyed lives because it's created black markets.
See, and I have sympathy for people who say they're anti-capitalist when they grew up being told that this is what capitalism looks like. This is not what capitalism, boys and girls, looks like, boys and girls. This is what soft fascism looks like.
Right.
It's velvet-gloved fascism is what it is. Oh. And it's been going on since before the First World War, since the creation of the Federal Reserve.
Yep, it's a sad day. Well, yeah, music means that, well, you're not done with us yet. We've got another hour to go because we do 3 hours every night, and we like it. We want to hear from you, 855-450-FREE. Back for hour number 2. This is Free Talk Live.
Number 3.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. Call right now before it's too late. 800-213-9264.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,276. Silver at $14.98. And Bitcoin is trading around $5,266. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, pesticide giant Monsanto has taken another major legal blow in the recent verdict by a French appeals court, finding the company guilty of poisoning a farmer who has suffered massive neurological damage after inhaling one of their products. The Homestead Guru reports that global organic food advocates have rallied against Monsanto for years, crying out against the toxic chemicals they sell to farmers to spray on the global food supply. Only now is the seemingly unstoppable corporation facing an upswing of legal ramifications. According to The Guardian, the French farmer named Paul Francois said he fell ill in 2004 after being exposed to lasso, a weed killer containing a product legal in France until 2007, but had already been banned in 1985 in Canada and in 1992 in Belgium and Britain. The court immediately ordered Monsanto to pay $50,000 in legal fees. The remaining payout is still to be determined. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices, with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. It took nearly 9 months and several petitions by the Detroit Free Press until Michigan State Police and Detroit Police allowed the body camera and dash camera footage to be released, showing the minutes leading up to and the hours following the tasing murder of Damon Grimes by MSP trooper Mark Bessner. The 16 hours of recording show the horror, outrage, and insensitive comments made by many officers on the scene. One video even recorded the moment of his death. Now Bessner has finally been convicted for his actions. Last year, Bessner was charged with second-degree murder for tasering the teen on the ATV. On Wednesday, a jury convicted him of the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter, despite the horrific nature of the incident. After his conviction, Bessner was taken into custody and is awaiting his sentencing on May 2nd. Fast food chain Carl's Jr. will make history by becoming the first fast food restaurant to offer a CBD-infused item, and possibly the first major chain to actually run a promotion on the infamous pothead holiday, 420. The Mind Unleashed reports that on Saturday, April 20th, Carl's Jr. will celebrate the holiday with its own CBD-infused Rocky Mountain High Cheeseburger Delight. The Cheeseburger Delight is made up of 2 beef patties, pickled jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and CBD-infused Santa Fe sauce. The burger will be ironically priced at $4.20, but will only be available at one select Carl's Jr. location in Denver, Colorado. However, representatives from the company said they hope to expand the special menu item to other locations if it does well. Patty Trevino, Carl Jr.'s Senior Vice President of Brand Marketing, says she is proud her company was the first in the industry to make the bold step. Lawyers for the company advise that Denver, Colorado would be the perfect place to test the new menu item since cannabis has been legal there for some time. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A cool guy from middle school is still sporting his fat pair of jean codes. A stunned St. Peter's Square crowd hears the Pope getting bitched out by God, and an 8th grader caked in makeup is probably really confident. This is The Onion Week in Review. This week, a Pew Research Center poll found that the vast majority of Americans would watch a television show called Love Trap, with most saying that regardless of the show's genre or quality, they would tune in weekly to see its stars stumble into romantic triangles, double-cross one another, and contend with whatever the titular love trap refers to. The survey confirmed that 62% of Americans would likely watch Love Trap to see a shrewd but cold-hearted Southern belle named Tammy. 23% of the nation hoped the show would be referred to as The Trap by its most loyal fans, and 15% of respondents said they simply needed something to watch. And in this week's science news, a biologist completes a 5-minute study of the pathetic organism in his mirror. In other news, a man confidently hits send on the worst job application a company has ever seen.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. We're returning for hour number 3 of our show. We do this every day, 365 days a year, and I like that. What I like best is we are a true open phones show, which means you're not going to call in and get some screener who's going to ask you a ton of questions. He's going to ask you what your subject is, and that's about it. And we're going to take your call. If you say words that can't be said on the radio, your call will be very short. But other than that, we want different topics.
If you say something really stupid, I'll probably yell at you because I do that.
You do. Well, I do. You start off very calm, and then your voice slowly increases until we get the Rich that we know and love, and that's Rich Paul, joined
the richest,
by myself.
most aromatic kind of rich.
Well, this is Chris, and we also have
Ian. And I'm still Rich Paul.
Still Rich Paul. And I'm out of it.
They can't change me.
Because I've developed a head cold in, I think, 2 hours. It may be a near record for how fast a head cold is coming on. So if
you're going to be able to make it home tonight, or we're going to have to let you crash on the couch?
I don't think it's fatal.
Okay,
I think I'll survive.
Well, the thing is, a lot of non-fatal things have caused fatal crashes.
That's a good point.
Seriously, if you need couch space,
I think I'll be all right. But I do appreciate that. And that's what we do try to do. We try to take care of each other, and that's sort of a golden rule sort of thing, an idea that we can just look out for each other, and we don't always need the big hand of government to look out for us.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
I mean, imagine how much drunk driving would go down if it was legal to keep your bar open after 2 a.m. and just let people sack out in the back.
Right.
If they were drunk.
Oh, you're hammered, pass out in your car. Can't do that. Yeah. Because God forbid.
Yeah.
Or if you would make it easy for bar owners to, hey, you've had too much to drink, I'm going to give you a ride. Can't do that because you got taxi laws and all sorts of, suddenly you're a common carrier. And
yeah, you've got a liability issue too if you crash.
Right. So all these things would go away if the government would just go away. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that. They don't get it because they've been raised in a world where we have this thing called government that tells us everything we can and cannot do, and we don't like that. And I know that some people listening are going to take issues with that. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your point of view. I'll share mine, and maybe we'll have a good conversation.
So I still have this story about the financial planner here who thinks cryptocurrency is going to take a huge dive. Collapse, he says.
Before we get into that, I just wanted, I went back during our last segment to look at the numbers from 99bitcoins.com, and I had to pull up the 2019 numbers.
Which numbers are we talking about?
The number of times that Bitcoin has been declared dead.
Oh, I think it was over 300 the last time I saw it.
350 was the last number I saw.
These are by recognizable publications on the internet, right? This isn't just somebody saying, on a Facebook post.
These are anointed pundits?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say probably 25% of those are probably Paul Krugman, Nobel laureate economist who writes for the New York Times.
And idiot.
Well, yeah, I
Keynesian
think so.
At least.
Very much a Keynesian.
But I repeat myself.
And I will agree with you on the idiot part. But, this is something that mainstream economists, those of the Keynesian bent, don't like to hear. But please, Ian, continue.
This is a story from CNBC.com. Peter Malik is a certified financial planner, so he thinks he knows a thing or two about money, and he believes that cryptocurrencies will collapse. Now, he does admit that maybe he thinks one or two might work out in the future, but he says in the meantime, you get no income. It's not a real investment. It's speculation.
Well,
so
go ahead.
He says instead invest in things that are going to pay you to own them. Own real estate where you're collecting rent, as though there's no other work you have to do when you own real estate, right? No, it's not like you have to deal with trashy tenants destroying the property or anything like that.
We all know that real estate doesn't go down in value. It always goes up. Right?
Yeah, except when it doesn't.
Except that was me in 2007 saying, well, real estate, I mean, that's like the most stable
guarantee
possible thing you could possibly own.
He says own stocks where you're collecting dividends. Own bonds where you're collecting yield. So what he's saying is he doesn't think cryptocurrencies are a real investment because they don't pay you out in dollars automatically.
Well, yeah, and they pay you out in a completely different way because there is a service. I mean, people want to own cryptocurrencies because they provide the service of transferring money. Okay. And
in some cases,
and they do it well.
Is speculation is speculating on which of these currencies are going to do that best.
Sure,
and
which
people
will survive.
have a desire to own those that do best. And they will not have a desire to own those that do badly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you don't know which ones are going to succeed. I mean, he may be right that many of these are going to drop off the radar over time. Certainly, there have been, I don't know how many of them who already have.
Right.
Somebody launched a crypto, it didn't catch on, and it quietly went away. Bitcoin, of course, the king of all of the different cryptos out there, seems pretty well ensconced in its number one spot, but nothing lasts forever. I mean, Woolworths didn't stay the number one department store forever either.
Absolutely.
4 out of 5 new businesses end up bankrupt, so I wouldn't expect if it ended up the same way for cryptocurrencies.
But I don't know if I agree with him that it's only going to ever be 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I think
that strikes me as absurd. There will be internal coins for all kinds of projects. There will be special purpose coins. There's going to be a lot of different kinds.
I think even when you look at like the big mamma jammas, I mean the ones that really get adoption, and I see this coming, folks. It's not going to be this world that we live in where it's paper money and credit cards. The days of that are numbered. The only reason that they're still around are by government edict. If you didn't have government backing up the U.S. dollar or the euro or take your pick, these things would have died on their own because they could not survive in a competitive market. They're bad money.
That said, we've got a long way to go because the bad money drives out the good money. That's Gresham's Law. And I've got tomorrow, I'm going to go meet with a local business owner who's talking about stopping accepting cryptocurrency because it just wasn't really doing anything as far as they didn't have enough of a bump in business. There wasn't enough noticeable. She said maybe $25 a week was what she was bringing in on average in cryptocurrency sales. Right. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to make the pitch that, well, it's actually a good thing from one perspective that it didn't go crazy because the price is pretty crazy right now. So it's better if you're just collecting a little bit here and there. And then it's not like the end of the world if it goes down. And if it goes up, then everything's gravy. So I'm going to try to make the argument that, look, you still have the app on your tablet device. In fact, she said to me that, I'm not going to say who it is yet, but she said to me that if I came in, she'd still accept cryptocurrency from me. So it's like, well, if somebody else comes in and asks you, why wouldn't you just take it from them too? If it is indeed such a small portion of your sales as to be insignificant, then there's nothing significant about saying yes to it. But regardless, one of the problems with cryptocurrency is that it is such good money. And so you've got a problem where people who are into crypto, who come to our cryptocurrency meetups, will not spend it.
Yeah.
So half the people sometimes at a crypto meetup are spending off of their debit card or using cash. Right. And that's kind of not the point. I mean, it's to some extent, the point of a meetup is to meet with people and talk. But the alternative purpose of that meetup is to bring business from crypto people into the places that accept crypto. But if the crypto people themselves won't spend it, how can we expect them to accept it?
Right.
Well, I understand what you're saying there, but I will say that if accepting crypto is a condition of having the crypto meetup there, then
it's not a condition, but that tends to be what we do.
And certainly, I think we prefer places that take crypto, and we're still bringing in the same amount of business if we bring it in dollars or we bring it in Bitcoin.
Right.
You know,
we are.
There are going to be times when people don't want to spend crypto. I mean, right now I'm trying. It is a problem, and what we really need is maybe charitable market makers.
What do you think? Should crypto be more widely accepted? Should those of us who have amassed a little bit spend our hard-earned Bitcoin?
Well, the wealth guy here says no. We can get into. He says you shouldn't even have it at all.
We shouldn't. I'm going to be in complete defiance of this, dude. 855-450-FREE. We're talking crypto. We're talking liberty. This is Free Talk Live.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. Themorganreport.com. Themorganreport.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. 855-450-3733. And I want to tell you about ForkFest 2019. I can't believe we're up to 2019 already.
Yep.
ForkFest has been going on for a couple years, and this is good to see. Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians this summer from June 13th to June 18th for ForkFest 2019 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest happens right before the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means that no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping or RV site or hotel room with Rogers Campground for June 13th through the 18th. You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, be sure to let others know about it in advance. You can connect with other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forums. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. And I know you guys are going up. I hope I can make it up. Rich, you going to ForkFest?
I will absolutely be there.
Good man.
Yeah, I will be at ForkFest and PorkFest until they throw me out of the park.
As many fests as you can stomach.
Ian,
I know you'll be at ForkFest.
Guy.
I will definitely be at ForkFest, yep. And we will be broadcasting.
And I will also be at Strange Creek Music Festival and several other music festivals this year. So lots of places to catch up.
Strange Creek?
Strange Creek. It's the spring festival at the same campground that has Wormtown. Wormtown is and they're both run by the Wormtown Trading Company, which is run by libertarian hippies, very cool people. They go to PorkFest. And so it's a nice, if you're a libertarian and a deadhead, it's a really great place to go.
You're mixing everything you love all together. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's about. I'm trying to bring all the stuff I love into New Hampshire.
Absolutely. We're going to go to the Discord where we've got Bad Slave. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Wow, thanks.
taking my call.
No problem. What's going on?
These guys, I mean, you're talking about some person speaking up and complaining about crypto going nowhere and all that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, that's already false, okay?
Well, no, he's making a prediction that it's going to collapse.
Right.
Well, but like that's a new thing.
No, it's certainly not a new thing, but it's not necessarily false if it's a prediction. I mean,
economists have predicted 10,000.
But I think that the idea of crypto is in fact is going to probably exist forever. I mean, at this point,
I hope so.
I mean, it's just like there's airplanes now. There didn't used to be.
Mm-hmm. There are some things that crypto does break the mold on. It is going in the face of centralized currencies. This is a decentralized system, and that's a new thing for the world. We haven't done a lot of decentralized systems that have been successful.
It's new and it's better,
right,
as well.
But the basics
and the people like cutting out the middleman, right? Anytime you're in business, if you can cut out a middleman, as long as you're not the middleman, you want to do it, right? So people are in favor of cutting out the middleman, and once they realize that Bitcoin and other cryptos cut out the middlemen in money, I agree with Bad Slave. I think it's going to get more popular.
Even middlemen cut out the middlemen because they'll cut out the retailer and buy from themselves.
Sure.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was there is this new aspect of what Bitcoin is, and there's certainly a lot of new innovations that we're seeing, but it's also, and this speaks for a lot of cryptocurrencies, a lot of it is basic economics that has been basically a natural fact of the world for 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of things that good money has shown over the decades, over the millennia, that these cryptocurrencies actually possess a lot of the same characteristics. Mm-hmm. So that's basically saying, well, gold will never be used as money.
Yeah. Well, you see, I think both cryptocurrency and gold will come to be the standard. I think we will eventually end up with a cryptographic gold standard where there exists a lot of places in a lot of countries where you can trade one gold coin, maybe GCN or whatever, for an actual 1 troy ounce coin. And that would be an exchangeable token, would be the ultimate cryptocurrency, because it would have all the advantages of a cryptocurrency, but it would also have the advantages of a gold-backed currency.
So that's been tried a number of times. A number of different groups have brought up the idea of a sort of a tangible cryptocurrency, a currency that's 100% backed by a tangible.
There's the Liberty Dollar one, which
that's
is
a good
backed
one,
by silver. And then there's also another one called AGX coin, which is also backed by silver. So there's at least two I can think of.
There's a question for you guys.
Shoot.
Do you think that the adoption of cryptocurrency is going to make RFID inserted under your skin more likely?
More likely?
I think I could see how having my own RFID chip would make things more convenient if I could pay with my finger.
I can see how trying to inject an RFID chip under my skin against my will might cause you to develop a hole in the middle of your forehead.
See, I can see all that stuff.
I just suggested the adoption of it, not. I don't think it ever ought to be forced on anyone.
No,
but
I'm just saying that somebody trying to make me get a microchip doesn't increase the likelihood of my getting a microchip. It increases the likelihood of their getting dead.
See, now, I look at these things as potential solutions.
You're taking a particularly negative look at that.
Right. And I see things like RFID. I mean, you can look at it and just wear your tinfoil hat when you do it and say that this is undoubtedly a government conspiracy. I want to see open source RFID. I want to see things that I could actually use and benefit from. I'd love
there's a
to
lot
not
of things
have
that you can benefit from with RFID. It's being used in retail environments to track inventory, for instance, and it's very, very good at it. So instead of having to count what's on a pallet, they just scan it.
and you're done.
There you go.
But broadcasting your identity wherever you
That's not what
go
RFID
is
does.
not a good
I agree with you.
plan.
That's not what RFID does. It's reactive. So RFID only reacts when it's hit by a wave that triggers it.
Okay.
And so what you're talking about actually with this whole fear about RFID, and these things have been kind of in the conspiracy realm for a long time.
Sure.
The mark of the beast. They're going to force these things on us. They didn't have to force anything. Look. We're carrying transmitters on us. 75, I think it was actually up to 85% of American adults,
right,
let alone the young people, have smartphones. And if you don't have a smartphone, you probably have a dumb phone. So either way, you have the tracking device on you, likely at all times, and you chose to do it.
And before I do a drug deal, I generally leave it outside.
You don't do that anymore. What are you talking about?
Bad Slave, thanks for the call.
I mean, you used to.
855-450-FREE.
If I were to do it again, I would still leave it outside.
This is Free Talk Live.
Anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll-free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's the number you call if you would like to talk to us. If you would like to be on the radio, let us know what's on your mind. We hope that your topic is interesting, and we really hope that you want to talk about liberty because that's what we like to talk about.
I don't hope that at all.
Really?
No, I want people to call in about anything they want.
Anything they want?
Yeah.
I agree. I'll take a call on anything, but I like it when the calls have a liberty aspect to them.
I like it when they don't. I like it when they hate freedom and we get to have it out with them.
I like a good mix.
Yeah.
I know you're
Don't pander to us, please.
Please. Yeah. Anything you like. There we go.
So maybe that should be Thursday. Call me up and tell me why you have a right to put me in a cage if I don't pay for your pet scheme.
See?
Anybody want to, or call me up and tell me why taxation isn't theft.
Right.
If you don't think taxation is theft. That would be interesting.
I love the fact that New Hampshire's actually sort of in the news for that whole taxation is theft thing going on.
Did that get outside of New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's I've seen a couple articles now that it's been floating around. Our state house, it's originally started certainly by libertarians, but now a lot of Republicans are jumping on board with taxation is theft pins and things like that they're wearing in the state house. So that's kind of cool.
Nice. Now, I'm sure that most of those people would say they're willing to tolerate a certain amount of theft.
Well,
there are principled ones who say no theft at all.
There are. And that's kind of what separates the statist from the minarchist, from the anarchist, from the voluntarist.
And what separates, I think, New Hampshire from the rest of the states, because I doubt there are, a dozen people in any other state legislature who would say taxation is theft really mean it.
Yeah, and fewer than, a very few number that have actually elected libertarians at all in state offices. New Hampshire's been kind of at the forefront. But I also wanted to tell you about our AMP program.
Ooh, yeah.
AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote, and this is a voluntary product, or something you can do to help support the show. And any money donated to the AMP program goes towards just those things: advertise, marketing, promotion of the show and the ideas of liberty. And we think that's a good thing when we get on more radio stations. So every day we do a shout out to some very generous and, in this case, handsome individual who is amplified, and that is Chris R. Is there a Chris R in the house? That's me. I am a silver amplifier, which
self-amper.
Means I am a self-amper.
Before he was a talk show host, he was an amplifier.
Yeah, for a number of years, I loved the show, and I wanted to make sure that it was successful. So I give $5 a year. I don't know. I think it's in PayPal.
A month. You're doing $5 a month. That's a lot better than
$5 a year.
We don't have a yearly option.
You shouldn't. And tonight you probably shouldn't have somebody with a raging head cold on your microphone either.
We can't hear it. At least I can't hear it. It's not.
I don't hear it either.
Your voice yet.
It's interesting because it just sort of goes. But for me, $5 a month is money well spent if it promotes the ideas of liberty. So find out more at amp.freetalklive.com.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. But we're going to go to the phones where we have...
It's awkward to pat yourself on the back, isn't it?
Oh, it's hard to reach. Yeah. We're going to go to the phones.
I'm stretchy.
Where we've got David in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, well, I am going to pander to you, but first of all, you could make money with your finger, with or without an RFID chip in there. If you put those skills that Rich attributed to you earlier in the program to work, if you join that thing, what is out of New York City? What is it? That orgasmic meditation thing?
Oh yeah, we talked about that one night.
Did we?
Yeah, I don't remember who was on with me, but I was on that night. There was it's actually started in San Francisco.
Okay.
It has apparently spread to New York and several other cities. Some are saying it's simply a front for prostitution. Others are saying it is a way for people with sexual hang-ups and that kind of thing to experience an orgasm, basically. And essentially they hire a professional, and a gloved man or woman will manipulate somebody's genitalia. And I don't want to get into any more detail than
I think you've done as much as you need to do.
Yeah.
So how is this not by the state definition prostitution?
It's meditation.
Meditation. Interesting.
Orgasmic meditation is what they're calling it. That's what he's referring to.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, what else?
That is very interesting. It's similar to what I've talked about for the Church of the Invisible Hand, which is having a core of healing sex workers. So I'm glad that other people are starting to think that maybe this is a way to.
I don't think there's a religious aspect to it, but
it's a spiritual aspect to meditation,
Sure,
and that seems. I'm guessing that they're relying on the First Amendment right. Then,
perhaps,
Although
there's no, it's not prostitution because they're not saying they're going to deliver a certain service for money. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's worth reading about. Check it out.
Interesting. What else you got, David?
Well, I got a comment on what Rich had said, but for another day, I got a judge/prostitution story that I'll share that's pretty interesting. But
we love those.
Rich had said earlier, so did the judges. Rich had said earlier, you made a comment about something about how cops had labeled certain people as dirty something or others and then target them later on. I don't remember the exact phraseology you used, but I wanted to back that up. And actually, if cops out there, listen up a second, because it actually defends you as well, the experience I had. When I lived in a town, I don't want to name because I don't want to open that whole thing back up again because these people will recognize themselves. A friend of mine went out of his way one day to come up to me and tell me he had been to brunch at a Perkins in town, and a booth or two over was a bunch of cops. There was like 4 in one booth, and then another booth with probably 2 more, maybe 3. But anyway, there was 4 at one booth in particular having a conversation, and he happened to hear one of them say, and this, I'm going to say this because it matters, because I've seen this behavior a number of times, enough to make it a pattern. The cop that said this, and the reason I know exactly who she was, because she was the only female cop that I'd ever seen in that area between the town cops.
So what'd she say?
I'll tell you in a second. And she was also a lesbian cop. And like I said, there was a pattern, and it makes a difference.
Okay.
And what she said was, and remember, cops, this defends you as well.
Come on, man.
Up. But what this one cop said is, she said, quote, have you seen that guy that drives that brown van lately? And the answer from the cop sitting at the table was, no, we haven't seen him. And then she goes, and I will, even though I should, FCC, be able to repeat on air anything that one of America's finest had said while they were on duty about one of us citizens, I will change it to be FCC acceptable anyway. And what she said is she said, because is there anything that we can do to put that guy in jail because he's an ass H.
Okay.
And so that's an example of cops.
That's the attitude. That is absolutely the attitude. They want to find a reason to put somebody they don't like behind bars. And thank you,
Thanks
David,
for the call. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And what applies to us does not apply to them. That's sadly, that's the state of affairs, and it doesn't matter what it's about.
If you don't believe us, just get yourself an old police cruiser, paint anarchy signs on the door, drive around and see how often you get pulled over.
Right.
I got pulled over a few times even without the anarchy signs on the door.
I got pulled over a lot with the anarchy signs.
Is there a double standard? Are we treated differently than our fellow citizens in blue? They are our fellow citizens, but they seem to think they're super special citizens. What do you think? 855-450 free. Final segment coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
Because we are smothering in spam, please do not reply to all when you can instead reply. I was recently among over 100 invited to a corporate reunion. It's always a warm affair, and that's the problem. Enthusiasm for our upcoming get-together caused many recipients to RSVP the organizer with a cheery reply to all. I can't wait. Then others piled on with a reply to all to that. Then the "I'm out of my office now" autoresponders joined in. So I replied to all, asking that we all reply only to the organizer. Hey, at least I tried. One invitee, apparently retired, shot back, "Point taken, but I really like seeing the responses since they're so positive." Smiley face. This better be an open bar. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, you've got Chris, Ian, and Rich, and we've been all over the board like we are every night, and I like that because
I'm like 6 feet away from the board.
Do you? I like to be right by the board.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, topics come, they drop, we go on to something else, and it's always interesting.
Well, do you want to hear what this financial planner has to say that you should be getting into instead of cryptocurrency?
Yeah, let's wrap this up, and let's find out what he's saying.
So this is a story from CNBC. Peter Malik is a certified financial planner. He thinks cryptocurrency is going to collapse. Further, says they're not an investment. They're not a real investment, he says. You don't want to own something that's not going to pay you. He cites real estate, he cites bonds, he cites stocks, and then he says if you're excited by blockchain, or at least this is CNBC saying this, the technology behind cryptocurrency, there are ways to invest in that besides buying crypto. He says, quote, there are companies that are very heavily investing in blockchain, and you can buy those companies.
You could buy Walmart stock, and now you're buying blockchain stock. Had
you read this?
No.
Okay, because that's literally what comes out of his mouth next. Companies
of course it is.
Right. Companies like IBM and Accenture and companies like Walmart are using it to develop ways to run their inventory. That's the way to play blockchain technology, not by trying to buy cryptocurrency.
Okay, so this guy how does he travel? Does he own a bicycle?
He's fairly well dressed. I'd say he flies places.
Does he use automobiles?
Possibly.
Because those things, they lose their value as soon as you drive them off the lot, and they will never be worth what you paid for it. That is a horrible investment.
Well, he's not advocating you buy a car as an investment.
Well, I'm assuming that he said that why would you ever buy anything that didn't provide you a return?
Oh, right.
My point is there's lots of things that provide value. Value is subjective.
What return do dollars return you? What return are you getting from your savings account?
From U.S. dollars, you lose money every day because as inflation occurs, it's silent. But this is why I pay $3 for a loaf of bread. When growing up, a loaf of bread was a quarter. Yeah. It's not that it costs more. It's not that we haven't figured out better ways to get bread to market or less expensive ways to make bread. It's the fact that the dollars that I used to buy them are worth a fraction of what they used to be worth. The money has deflated. It has inflated. It has lost its value. Yeah. Now, you don't get all that fun with things like Bitcoin because it tends to grow in value and it's designed to be slightly deflationary.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it over time, I bought Bitcoin at 1,000. I sold like $15,000 worth of, or I bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. I sold $15,000 worth of Bitcoin, and I still had a couple $1,000s left out of my initial $1,000. So I felt pretty good about how that worked out for me. And guess what? Even after the Bitcoin winter and the big crash, Bitcoin's still way higher than it was when I bought it.
Bitcoin's the best
investment. I'm not feeling bad at all.
It's the best investment of the last decade.
Right.
Period. By far.
Yeah. And I'm not even advocating it as an investment. And I don't do that. I encourage people. I think Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, because I don't want to just say Bitcoin, but they have positive characteristics that make them valuable. And it's not just about what's your return like over the last 2-year period.
It's money that is better money that we want people to use as money. But to come back around to what I was complaining about before with crypto people is that they won't spend it. So that's a problem, because if you're into cryptocurrency and if you can afford to, then I would recommend you buy more of it before you spend it. You
know what would make me spend crypto?
What's that?
If some charitable institution like a church set up a way that I could get more without paying more for it. So if I could buy crypto at spot, I would spend crypto at spot all day.
Well, the good news
but
is
if I have to pay 5% to buy crypto, then it's hard for me to spend it, because that means if I spend $100 in crypto, I'm not going to keep my money in dollars. No, I don't like those things.
Okay,
they're
Rich,
haram.
So how about when crypto increases in value? So if, let's say it costs 5% and I got $100 worth, which means I only realize $95 in actual cryptocurrency, $95 worth in cryptocurrency. How about when it increases by 10%, and now I'm at $105? Do you think about spending then?
I think about spending crypto when I don't have any dollars.
See, I think about spending.
This is Gresham's law in action.
Yeah, exactly.
You're part of the
That
problem.
is Gresham's law.
Right.
No,
You are part of the problem.
No, Gresham's law is part of how the market works.
I understand that, but we as activists
Are you telling me I'm
need
being
to go,
selfish?
am
Because
telling
yes,
you,
I
no,
am.
You're being short-sighted. I'm telling you, you're being short-sighted because you can also be selfish by spending your crypto because you would hope that it would go up in value over time by the fact that you're part of the spending of it. If people don't spend cryptocurrency, why would it ever go up in value?
Well, the thing is, time preferences are marginal. Time preferences are related to wealth. So the wealthier you get, the farther into the future you plan. I'm not in a position having, I have virtually no assets, virtually no income. So I'm not in a position to be funding, speculative things that might pay off in the future. I'm in a position to try to keep food in my mouth all the time.
Well, the good news is you didn't have to wait for a charity to give you 0% Bitcoin or whatever, because the good folks over at AnyPay have already given a 10% discount in most cases.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
that's
consistent.
the thing, and that's why that's why I bought Dash.
Okay, but here you are saying that even though that 10% discount is usually available, you still would prefer to spend dollars.
No, I would definitely spend the Dash. I wasn't thinking. I mean, we hadn't really been talking about Dash, but factoring that in, nonetheless, that's a special case.
It is. It's a
It
subsidy.
involves only AnyPay vendors.
That's right.
So in the general case, in the special case where I can spend Dash at an AnyPay vendor, then yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not only doing it at break even, I'm doing it at a profit.
Now,
but doing it at break even all the time would allow me to do it all the time, and all I lose is basically the float between
well, you'd lose if the value went down.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you'd gain if it went up. So there's no, again, you shouldn't put in what you can't afford to lose.
Right.
But if you're going to, if you're into crypto and you're going to spend crypto, and you want to spend some of it, or rather, if there's something you want to buy and you can afford to buy it with cash, if you have to spend 1% to get the crypto, and you're an activist, I think you should do it.
So one thing that we do,
can you sell it to me for 1%?
One thing we do,
any exchange can.
Yeah, one thing we do in our shop. We run a small business, Route 101 Local Goods. Ian, you came in and you bought $3 maple candy just earlier this week. How much did you pay for that?
Well, there's a discount because you offer one at your store because you've chosen to do that, a 5% discount.
Right. And
plus there's a dash back on top of that as
so
well.
We'll throw the dash back out and just say something that costs $3 you can buy every day in my store with cryptocurrency for $2.75.
With any crypto.
With any crypto, and that is not me subsidizing.
And I think that... go ahead. Sorry.
No. What I'm saying is that's not me subsidizing things for the sake of activism. What
What is it then?
I believe that I put more value in cryptocurrencies than I do in U.S. dollars.
You're a crypto activist.
Yeah. Well,
that's besides the point. The point is I would rather accumulate cryptocurrencies now. It has a higher value to me.
You're willing to take a 5% loss on any given sale simply to accumulate that customer's crypto, is what you're saying.
That's the motivation for me. And if I were to look at that over time, over the 4 years in business, I think I could show that I have that 5% was the best thing I could have ever done.
Smart.
Yeah. And if I still had the 8 Bitcoins that Roger Ver gave me in my legal defense fund, I would do the same thing. But unfortunately, those got sold to pay for my legal defense.
Yeah, it does. But the point is as more people get on board, if more people, so the opposite of Gresham's law, if I value this currency over that currency, then I will entice people to use that currency. I think that's going to be
retailer.
As the retailer. And maybe that
unfortunately you're the only one in town who has seen the value in doing that.
Right. But how long, and I'm not predicting anything, but how long until some major company comes along and says, you know what, we're going to do, maybe it's 0.5%, maybe it's 1% lower.
Didn't Overstock offer a crypto discount?
I think they did at one point. I just don't think they had the volume to handle it. But that's all the time we have. But thank you for joining us. We've enjoyed your conversations, and we look forward to hearing from you again. What's nice about Free Talk Live is we're going to hear from you, and you can hear from us again tomorrow night, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining us. This is Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
No, I can understand the time cue, but what I know is wiser than anything else. Like God created one day, I've created 4 simultaneous days in one rotation of Earth.
At what point did you become the wisest human, Gene Ray?
Well, I've learned everything. When you know everything, there's nothing to know.
Okay, well, now, you said you're getting ready to write a book on it. When can we expect to see it?
No, I don't have a publisher yet. A lot of morning touch it, and so...
you touch it in the morning?
Well, sometimes, not much.
Yeah. How old are you, Dr. Gene Ray?
I'm 78. Well, I told this black lady down in St. Pete, I said, when you die, you're going to come back as a white person. I said, I'm going to come back as a black person. I'm going to hate you honkies.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,276. Silver at $14.98, and Bitcoin is trading around $5,266. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing 1 or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, pesticide giant Monsanto has taken another major legal blow in the recent verdict by a French appeals court, finding the company guilty of poisoning a farmer who has suffered massive neurological damage after inhaling one of their products. The Homestead Guru reports that global organic food advocates have rallied against Monsanto for years, crying out against the toxic chemicals they sell to farmers to spray on the global food supply. Only now is the seemingly unstoppable corporation facing an upswing of legal ramifications. According to The Guardian, the French farmer named Paul Francois said he fell ill in 2004 after being exposed to Lasso, a weed killer containing a product legal in France until 2007.